Hi, Lincolnshire. Hey, Carol. Hello, Marie. This would be a really great time to have my botany book in front of me. And I'm not sure where my botany book is. Which is odd, because it should be on my shelf. I'm gonna have to figure out some other way to do this. It was good. Easter for us is a little bit different than other people. Hi, transport time. We always have Easter dinner. Usually not on Easter, so sort of used to that. Darn it. Mushrooms, insects. Oh well. Anyways, today's topic, I guess I should say, not tonight, maybe a bit dry. I don't know a way to really liven this up, but we're gonna try. I'm gonna try it. I should have probably drawn up some leaves. And gone that route. So today we're going to be learning about leaves. I know it's a little bit boring, but honestly, it's still important because this information is going to help you identify leaves potentially on your own. So I don't even have Aye, aye, aye. Okay. So we're just going to go with it. I will just have to draw it. Okay. Pardon me for my quiet. Okay. So we're going to pretend that's a leaf. So this would be a simple leaf. It's just one leaf attached to the twig. This is the, I'm going to mispronounce it, petiole. This is the little bit that connects the leaf. I hope it's not. Very cool. Very, very cool. You have the petiole, and then usually down along the base of the petiole and the branch or the twig, you'll have a bud. So, and it's called a lateral bud. So this is the bud, or this is the bud, the petiole, and then the leaf with the veins. So pretty much most of the leaves that you're going to see day to day are simple leaves. They're just one leaf attached to the branch or the twig. A good example of this would be a silver maple, a white oak, black oak, a cherry leaf. This is called a made up leaf that I drew. But basically speaking, now if it's a compound leaf, compound leaves look like this is not going to be exact. I did that wrong. Aye. I was going to use my my leaf collection from high school to do this. Okay. So, again, compound leaf. This is the lateral bud, the petiole. And instead of having one leaf, a compound leaf is going to have leaflets. And the number of leaflets varies from tree to tree. Some will have 3 leaflets, some will have 6 or 7, some can have up to 12. It varies. Think of a black walnut, a honey locust, any number of hickories or ash. Hi, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Now there are some trees who don't have typical leaves, such as a pine, because pines have needles, right? Or maybe a palm. That's my palm. But we can break this down even more. Oops. I was trying not to rip it. This one, I may use the book. So we're going to start with our simple leaves. So there's linear. Linear simple leaves are basically grass. And I'm talking the grass that grows in your lawn. Then there are your cottonwoods. I wish I was a better artist. Now, cottonwoods are what we call ovate. Okay, we know I can't draw, but cottonwoods have ovate leaves, and they're usually, at least the cottonwoods, cottonwoods have teeth on them. That's my rendition. It just lacks the teeth. And then there's elliptical. And if you think of an apple tree, apple trees are elliptical, I believe. If you've ever seen an olive tree, they're oblong. A red bud is what we call cordate. Trying to see, because the book I have in front of me is for the Western United States. Oh, wait a minute. Different books also have different terms that they use. This one is not my friend right now. Willows, lanceolates, pines. At this point, I'm just going to. We all know what a pine, fir, spruce. They have what we call acular. So they're just the needles. Well, but they're right. We call them needles, but they are the leaf for that plant. They're not. They have all of basically the same basic anatomy. They may not have everything that a typical leaf has. They're a modified leaf. And the reason that they're modified is, and we're going to talk about that later, but they're a modified leaf. Hi, USA. The next one, if you've ever seen a violet growing out in your yard, violets are reniform, and they're sort of heart-shaped. A little bit heart-shaped is what I like to think of them. This one, I didn't quite get, because I was thinking lotus when I saw this one. These are sort of round. To me, quaking aspen and cottonwood have sort of similar leaves, but maybe they're just different enough to be different. I don't know. Really need my leaf collection. Because that would make this so much easier. Even though my leaf collection is older than dirt, it still would help me explain things a bit better. Anyway, there are others. We're gonna move into now. There's a bunch of others, but I think I want to talk about the compound leaves a bit. So these are the others. I don't want to do that. So Haystate is ivy. Lyrate, if you've ever seen a radish leaf, it sort of goes like this. Sort of rounded. I don't know what I did with my papers that I had. I was gonna try drawing all of them, and I'm like, that probably would be a really bad idea because I'm not an artist. Haha! Okay. I found it. Oh, shoot. No. It had a friend on it. Okay. So we're going to start by talking about, or re-talking about compounds. Yeah, it had a spider. So this is a tree called mountain ash. Hold on. Okay. So this is mountain ash. And it has pinnately. Yeah. It has pinnately compound leaves, which means that each leaf is made up of multiple individual leaflets arranged along the central stalk. The leaflets themselves are typically pointed, sharply teethed, and alternate along it. So that term pinnately So when we talk pinnately, we're talking about the... Okay, I can't see you guys and you can't see me. So basically, pinnately, they're arranged on both sides of the stalk, and they're perpendicular to it. So hickories are going to be arranged in the same way. There's basically 3 different types of those leaves. Another compound leaf is box elder. Now, sometimes this plant I gotta change how I'm doing this, guys. This is my college, or not college, my high school biology project. I won't say what I got on it because there's no point in doing that. So this is box elder, and this is in the maple family. You can see the petiole, the leaflets, and again, box elder is pinnately compound leaves. Well, everybody had to do it. I got this one wrong, but I still think it's probably, looking back, it's probably redbud. This is wild cherry. Fun fact, if you have cherry trees in your yard in the fall, do not feed them to any animals, because not good. Not good once they go to the ground. Here's your cottonwood. You can see that it is basically flat along the bottom. And I have not done anything to, unfortunately, to preserve them. And it is tooth. What I was hoping to find the other type. Pinnately as well. Pinnately as well. Okay, so this is going to be different. Hi, Captain E.T. So this is a double compound leaf. Each leaflet, so here's your petiole down here. Each leaflet has compound leaves. So it's double. And it's really hard to see because some of mine have fallen off. But if you look at this one, you can see it has double the leaves all the way across. So this is a double compound, which is a little bit different than others. These are your maples. I should have had this, if I was doing this right. Now, fun fact. Okay, so a maple, all maples have a palmately lobed leaf. And these leaves are going to have multiple lobes, typically 3 to 5, that radiate outwards from a central point. So in this case, the central point is here, and they radiate out from that point. So we have our lobes, 1, 2, 3. This is silver maple. And again, it radiates out from a central point. 1, 2, 3. Now, mulberry, I just lost my place. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, now that we've talked a little bit about leaf shapes, is I want to talk about some of the more unique things that leaves do. So we've all probably seen a Venus flytrap. We've all probably seen a Venus flytrap. That's my trap. But Venus flytraps, hi Captain E.T., has a leaf that is kind of different. This is a modified leaf, and it does have other leaves, but the trap itself is a leaf that has hairs on the inside that act as triggers, and then the little things coming off of it. There is yet Another carnivorous plant. Boy, I'm going to mess this one up. Called sundew. And sundew plants are interesting. They have leaves that have little hairs coming off of them, and those hairs produce a sweet liquid. And when an insect lands on one of those hairs, the leaf does something really, really cool. It will wrap itself around the insect and then digest it. Another modified leaf. Oh, I'm going to mess this up. I'm just going to say sorry now. Shoot. I'm just going to say sorry now because nothing. I switched it from I switched to all chat. So it kind of made things glitch a little bit. So another modified leaf is the pitcher plant. The pitcher is a modified leaf that will hold water. The insect gets up in here and falls. And once inside, there's digestive fluids that actually digest it and break it down. But these are not the only modified leaves. Another modified leaf is cactus. Yep. Pitcher plants. Just like you said. So, we've all seen probably a prickly pear cactus. Those are the ones that you feed to turtles or to tortoises, or maybe you buy cactus fruit, not the dragon fruit, because that's a different type of cactus. But the part that we call the pad of the cactus, that is the stem. There is in some of them, yes. The spines of a cactus I've never seen a corpse flower other than in pictures. That would be so cool. The spines of a cactus are modified leaves. Yep. So these spines not only protect the cactus from being eaten by some animals, but they also provide shade. So that's kind of cool. Now they do have smaller spines, the glockids. Trust me, they are not fun. They're small, they get into your skin, but the spines on a cactus are not green. So the stem is actually what does the pollen, the photosynthesis. Now, different cactus look differently. Some are barrel cactus, meaning they're sort of round. Yeah, they do stink. But what's cool about that is the fact that they stink. It tells you who fertilizes or who pollinates that plant. Barrel cactuses have a different looking stem. What kind of chat is on? All chat. Meaning that I can see all of your messages. Otherwise, I might skip some. So, barrel cactus, it's still a stem. It just looks very different from what you might think a stem looks like. And the leaves or the spines are arranged differently. Now, let's talk pine needles. This is not going to look good. Guys, I wish I was a better artist, but I'm not. So all chat basically means that I get to see all of your messages. Instead of just some of them. But I think the connection is weird today. So, pine needles, like these dead ones, grow in a cluster. And typically, you can sort of ID them by how many grow in that cluster. But these guys are actually modified leaves. Now, we don't call them leaves. We call them needles. But they carry out the same job that a leaf, your typical leaf, would carry on. They have chlorophyll in them, so they can photosynthesize. But the reason that they're like this, I feel like I'm not getting. Did I switch it over? Yeah. Okay. Huh. And that allows the plants to actually help it conserve water. The bigger leaves like, I don't know, we'll use this basswood. It has little tiny holes that allow for the transfer of air and to also release water. Or water could be released from it as well. The bigger the surface area, the more water they can lose. And so by having these smaller needles, in effect, the plant doesn't lose as much water. Wow, my. No, not necessarily. But that so basically I gotta sit up again. No, all I did was switch it over to live chat. So basically, a leaf, essentially, its job is to photosynthesize. So a green leaf has chlorophyll. Those chloroplasts is where they're going to make food for the plants. They're also going to, however, another part of their job is they take in carbon dioxide and water. So they take in that stuff, and they make sugar. Okay? They make sugar. And that's what the plant uses to feed itself. Right. Exactly, Captain E.T. The leaves also have little tiny microscopic holes in them that can be opened and shut. And that allows the plant to basically release air. That they don't have, what I'm trying to say is these guys don't have lungs like we do. And so when they breathe, they have to they use their leaves to transfer gases. And they will also have transpiration, which means they can lose water through their leaves. So sort of a double, they act as sort of the lungs of a tree. They don't take in nutrients typically, except for sunlight. So if you were to take a leaf and you were to put it inside a bag on a really warm day, you would get water condensing on the plastic. I'm trying to see if I have a biology book. That's what I need. I need a biology book. Right. And all of that happens inside the leaf. I'm hoping that Bye, Captain. So I don't have I'm hoping. Yes, this is what I wanted. Thank you. Now, hopefully. Okay. Okay, so this is not a really good image, but it's an image. So this is the top of the leaf, and these are the individual cells, these little pockets that you see, and around them, oops, okay, these little green balls that you can see, those are the chloroplast. And it's their job to do the hard work. Here's one where you can actually see them. So these are the cells. This is a plant cell. And the green that you see are the chloroplast. And they're the ones that actually do the work of photosynthesis. Now, I think if you give me a second, we're gonna get a little bit deeper here. So you are looking at you're looking at a tomato plant, or a tomato leaf to be exact. This is on an electron microscope. This little hole or little indent is called a stomata. And that is where the air from the plant comes in and out. So that's what lets the carbon dioxide in and the other gases out. And they dot the leaf. Like there will be several of them. So yeah, and that's how they do their thing. Sorry, guys. Um, hyena. Sorry, I was cleaning. I need to clean. Um, so anyway, that's a little bit about there's a hyena up on the shelf, right? Right? Oh, you right there. No, no, no. Right there. Um, sorry. I was trying to show the plants. So later today, we're going to be taking a look at stems. And we'll be talking about plant stems and their job and some of the specialized stems. um yeah. So that'll be a thing. And then you'll notice that the lives for this week are up and posted. We are going to be doing, like I said, plant stems later tonight. And then we have two Learn the Cares coming up this week. And then two exhibit focuses, which I love. I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoy doing the exhibit focuses, even though they can be a bit of a pain. And then the 29th, I had planned to do a channel news and update, but I don't think we're going to have much of an update to do. At least it's not looking like it. So we may do something else. I don't know what I had planned to do. I need to do a test run of the Zoom thing and see how that goes. So we might do that. Or it might be a Q&A. Because we have got a few new followers, so I'm going, because we don't seem to be talking a lot. Either that or my feed is just really messed up. We can look at some other plants in the book if you want to. I had to fight with my phone to get updates, to get the lives posted. unfortunately. I don't know what that was about. Yeah. Um, I do. I just don't have them to where I have them done, but I don't have them typed up. You know what I think I might do is go over some of the edible and medicinal plants that are in here. Yeah, I'm gonna try and have those up. Um, what day am I doing those? Let's see. Those will be up. I think. Those will be up by Monday. Um, so you can check on Mondays to get that information. Our next trivia night in June. It looks like. We do have a game night in May. So I am doing this from memory. Totally from memory. So do not use don't use my really bad memory to heart and use it to go out and eat because you'll probably make yourself sick. Some of these I'm not. Now, mountain ash, I believe, has edible berries or edible fruit, but there's something about it. Um, there's something about their fruit, and I don't remember what it is. Birch, river birch. The Indians would use it to make canoes and shelters. Box elder. You can actually, because it's in the maple family, you can actually tap it once it gets big enough. Don't remember what that one is. Wild cherry. You can eat the cherries. There's just not a lot of pulp, So a lot of times it's used to make a drink, or in some cases it's used to make jams or jelly. And I think there's some medicinal properties as well. Cottonwood is more of a, I believe it has an edible inner bark, if I remember right. American elm has medicinal properties. Shagbark hickory, of course, has an edible nut. Honey locust, I don't like to talk. The locust, I don't like to talk about because, yeah, they're sketchy. Maples, again, sap. And you can eat the seeds. You can suck on sassafras. Mulberries, of course, have that nice fruit that we eat. Black oaks, you can eat the acorns, but you have to prepare them accordingly. White oaks are a little bit easier to use. And you can tell a white oak because they have rounded lobes, whereas black oaks and their kin have points on their lobes. This is white poplar. I love it. Don't really have any uses for it. Red bud is cool because you can actually eat the flowers and they taste a little bit like peas. Hi, I love baseball. This is sassafras. You can suck on the leaves, the little petioles, or break up a little bit of a branch and suck on it. Now you need to know that sassafras tea or the root does have chemicals in it that are said to cause cancer, so you may not want to. This is tree of heaven. It is a invasive from China and has a smell to it, something you may not want to eat. This is tulip tree. This is our, no. This is, oh, I've done it too, Marie. I've done it too. This is tulip tree. This is Indiana's state tree. This is black walnut. Of course, black walnuts is edible. The nuts are edible anyway. This is black willow. Now, willow is kind of cool because you can scrape off the, you want the bark, and you can make a tea out of the bark, and it has the same chemicals that are in aspirin. Don't know. Wild asparagus, of course, you know, we all know asparagus is edible. So if you find it, you're golden because, like I said, asparagus is edible. This is carrion flower. Carrion, like dead animals. It has beautiful blueberries, and they are edible. But again, don't go out and take this stuff and eat it because you may not know what you're doing and can make yourself sick. So don't do it. Buckhorn, I have no idea what it does, so gosh darn it, it's stuck. So this is cinquefoil, very tiny leaves, and they're palmately compound. This is cocklebur. This is one of the ones, if you have a dog and you go out into the wild, they can pick this up in their fur. Dandelion, of course, when they're this size, this is the perfect size for eating dandelion greens. And I think we're one of the few countries where they don't eat dandelion. This is evening primrose. It has an edible taproot. Flowering spurge. This is poisonous. Poisonous, poisonous, poisonous. Jerusalem artichoke, of course, has an edible tubers, and their leaves, like I'm literally touching the leaf. They have little like stickiness to them. This is foxglove grass, or foxtail, sorry. Goldenrod, you can make a tea out of it. This is Jimson weed. This is not a good plant. Bad plants. This is lamb's quarter. Lamb's quarter is an edible. It's basically a spinach. Milkweed. There are phases where you can eat it, but I'm not going to go there with you. This is bittersweet nightshade. Again, toxic. Plantain. I believe in the spring, when the leaves first come up, it can be a pot herb. And it does have medicinal value. This is Virginia rose. Roses have edible flowers. You can eat the petals, and you can eat the berry. The rose hip. Used a lot in teas. This is Rugosa rose. Same thing. This is wild carrot or Queensland lace. Edible roots. Giant ragweed. It does have some medicinal value, but not a lot of food value. Not at all, I should say. Red clover. You can actually eat a little bit. Don't ask me. I don't remember exactly how. Bull thistle. Most thistles are edible. I'm not going to go into how to prepare them because I don't remember. Bouncing bet. If you have this in your yard, you can actually use it like soap. wintercress, sandbur. Believe it or not, sandburs are actually edible. Solomon seal, I don't think so. Velvet leaf, not. It's invasive. Are you guys still there? White clover. This is white sweet clover. Edible. Virginia creeper, not edible. Wild grape. This happens to be Riverside grape. You can actually eat the grapes. They're going to be sour, but you can eat them. Make jelly, jams, juice, and you can use the leaves. This is yarrow. Yarrow is a good medicinal. It's a good tea for medicinal value. This is American basswood. And if I remember right, it's edible. This is American bladdernuts, something you don't see every day. This is gray birch. This is Ohio buckeye. Now, buckeyes are in the chestnut or horse chestnut family. Buckeyes are not edible. They're a nut, but you should not eat them. This is Chinese elm, another invasive. This is a dogwood. I probably red osier dogwood. This is hawthorn, and hawthorns have edible fruits. They look a little bit like apples. This is horse chestnut, definitely not edible. This is black maple. This is Norway maple. This is bur oak. Bur oaks are in the white oak family, and they get very, very big acorns. This is pin oak. It's in the black oak family. This is Osage orange. The fruit is said to have edible seeds, but the fruit itself is not edible. This is pecan or pecan. Lombardy poplar. A different type of poplar. I believe it's an introduced plant. This is pawpaw. So if you've ever heard of way down yonder in the pawpaw patch, that's what that is. And they are amazing fruits. I feel like you guys are dead. Yeah, I don't know what is going on, guys. No, I don't think so. No, my chat is not showing up in live. On my phone, I can't see your guys' messages. So I don't know what's going on. So I will go back up. No, I wasn't getting them at all. And I'm afraid to click. There it goes. Hi, Mohammed. Sorry, I didn't say hi. I can see you now. Well, it used to happen a lot more than it's been happening. I'm getting them now, yeah. I'm from Indiana. No, you should never eat random things from school. Or random things from outside. Definitely not. Yeah. But I think, and what's weird is it's set for all messages. But Pawpaw is really good. This is Dorf. This is Dorf sumac. Yeah, I mean, it's been better. I scrolled up though, Marie. I scrolled up. This is Staghorn sumac. And Staghorn sumac actually gets little berries that if you get it right in the fall, usually you can make lemonade from them or a sour drink. This is sweet gum. And I think the reason they call it sweet gum is the sap. But what I think is really cool about sweet gum is their seed pods. Their seed pods are really, really cool. Mohammed, if you're still here, I apologize. I couldn't see your message when you came in. They have really unique looking seed pods. So that is what a sour or sweet gum seed pod looks like. Very spiky little thing. I love the smell of their container too. Now, I don't know if these are native sweet gums. There was a tree in my great uncle's yard, and that's where we got them. My dad. Okay, I gotta look that one up. No, 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 no. What is that, Marie? I don't know. So this, if you have cats, you know what this is. This is catnip. And you can actually make a tea out of it. This is chickweed. Chickweed is another plant that makes it can be used like a spinach. This is wild. It's called bird cucumber or wild cucumber, not edible. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. This is elderberry. Elderberries are edible if they're cooked. This, poisonous. Berries, edible if cooked. This is false Solomon seal. The berries are edible. They're said to taste like molasses. This is red grape. This is clammy ground cherry. Ground cherries are edible. They look like a tomatillo. You can't eat them until they fall off the ground, or until they fall to the ground, but they are edible. This is horse nettle. Now, they call it horse nettle. Oh? Horse nettle is not a nettle. It is a nightshade. Horse nettle is a nightshade. And it usually has spikes on it. They look like, when they're ripe, they look like yellow tomatoes. This is Japanese bamboo. It is not a bamboo. It's a highly invasive species, but it is edible when it's young. You can sort of use it like rhubarb. This is rose mallow. Rose mallow. It is related to marshmallow. This is common moonseed. Very poisonous. It looks, I've actually talked about it in a video. They have berries that sort of resemble grapes. Poisonous. Black raspberry, obviously edible. This is, yes, marshmallow is actually a plant. This is spiderwort, or as me and my siblings called it, snotweed. not poison ivy, actually wild strawberry. And of course, they're so much better than the real thing. And I think that's everything. We don't make them. We don't make them the way that they used to be made. I'll be honest. See if I can find. It's actually, I think, a really pretty flower. That's the flower. Very pretty flower. It sort of reminds me of hibiscus. Now, we actually make, when we talk about marshmallows, originally they were made from that, the roots. And they're white with purple centers. Now, there are other types of mallows. I don't think so. Okay, so nowadays they are made from gelatin. So Marie was right. That's what I'm thinking. I've never seen one, Marie, but I think so. They are made from gelatin, corn syrup, sugar, and flavorings. So they do have gelatin in them, and gelatin comes from the bones of animals or the joints. Yeah, but it's more than that, Carol. I mean, so there are people, you can watch them on live. You can watch them on YouTube. Where they make marshmallows. Oh yeah, I mean there's a lot of your edible plants are actually also edible. A lot of I should say some of our medicinal plants are actually edible. Like some of our teas. But you can look it up online to read more about or you can look it up on YouTube. There's lots of videos of people making it. And there's also a lot of plants that are so anyway, that is our live for today, or for this section. We will be coming back with more. I'm going to say goodbye for now. Thank you for coming in. Hopefully tonight's a little bit better attended. We'll see. Love you all, and I will see you all later. I'm going to go downstairs and have lunch. Be good, everybody. Bye. They do. And I think a lot of us have lost that touch. But we'll talk about that more later, Carol. I am going to sign off. Love y'all. I promise to do better with being in front of the camera, too. Love you all. Good night. Goodbye. See you at 7 p.m. Bye-bye.